it can feel like you're being a victim when you're acknowledging it. But I strongly believe that is the first step. What's up, my loves? Welcome back to another episode of Big Sis Chat. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited to have you on. And I think this journey is going to be really exciting. I can see that this series is already making an impact. Some of you are writing to me, sharing some of your experiences with the topic that we discussed in the last episode. And I look forward to receiving even more of your messages, reading your comments down below on how whatever I'm sharing on the show or whoever I'm inviting to speak is connecting with you and relating to you. We're all here to grow, we're all here to learn, but I'm hoping that you get something from every episode. That's the goal. So in this one, I was particularly super emotional watching this video that I found on Instagram. Actually, someone shared it with me, and I thought it was a perfect topic to go over for the second episode. So take a look.
So in my house with my mom, it was always, everything was up for discussion. Everything was up for discussion because my mama, she a real understanding person. So it was literally a conversation I had growing up with me. I'm a real knowledgeable person. I like to know a lot of stuff. So the way I would come across and say things, she'll be like, I know you not coming from a standpoint of you trying to be disrespectful to people, but some people don't understand you how I understand you, so you might have to correct yourself. So I literally had a conversation with my mom. I was like, okay, I'm finna tell you stuff and stop me when I get disrespectful. I express my feelings, but that don't happen with everybody. And so when I was standing up here and you guys were like, don't belittle your children, but the whole statement of you're not on my level sounds like belittlement to us. It's saying you don't have as much value as me. You're not as important to me. You don't put up what I put up, so you can't have a say so in what we do. You don't pay bills. You don't own this house. You don't pay for nothing.
She is so right. She's so right.
And when you bring up the stuff that you do for your children, it makes us feel like a burden. It makes us feel like I can't wait till I grow up so I don't have to be a burden to you anymore. If you say, it's like when people be like, your parents had a life before you, it makes you feel like I made you so miserable and bitter and like I just don't want to be here anymore because you don't want me to be here anymore. So why should I be here and put my best foot forward if the person who gave birth to me and made me come in this life doesn't want me? How am I supposed to look at somebody else for love if I feel like I'm not getting love at home? What do you do when you want to have somebody to talk to, but they like, you can't talk to them? You go to somebody else to talk to, and that's not who you want us to talk to. How am I supposed to come and talk to you, and you don't listen to me, but somebody else may listen to me, but they not gonna treat me how you want me to be treated? You love me, but you don't show it. But they don't love me, but they act like they love me. So I'm going to go to the person that acts like they love me and not the person who... I'm going to go to the person who acts like they love me. Because when you grow up like this and you grow up with people who emotionally stunt your growth, you go looking for other people and you insecure. You go looking for other people for sex, for people who going to tell you, oh, you're pretty. That's why the first person to tell you you're pretty, I'm glad my mama never, they say your parent and your family is your first bully, point out every insecurity you have, and then you want your kids to feel beautiful and smart and go to school with people who telling them the same thing you tell them. That's not going to work.
Damn. I cannot begin to tell you how deeply this resonated with me. And I think it's time to say it like it is. Some parents don't know what they're doing. In fact, most parents don't know what they're doing. There is no book on how to raise children. There's no book on how to heal yourself so that you don't pass on your own trauma to your children. So when you don't heal, you hurt others. Hurt people hurt people. If you've never heard of this expression before, it's real. And if I can help liberate someone by sharing my own experience, then I will. Growing up, I felt as though I wasn't truly seen for who I am, my value as an artist, my value as someone with a voice, someone who has opinions or who has the right to have an opinion. And if you grew up in a Haitian household or a Caribbean household, we can only speak about what we've experienced, right? So yeah, growing up in a Caribbean family, you know, kids didn't have the right to have opinions, to share what you think, how you feel. It's like you're a child and that's it. I did receive some of the comments that this lady mentioned, you know, you don't pay the bills. You're not an adult, you're not a grown-up, so you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know pretty much anything. What this young lady just said hit me so hard, because in the end, that's exactly what happened. It's like it was creating mini cuts in my soul to the point that I didn't want to speak up. I didn't want to defend myself to anyone. And so I became very passive, very naive, very soft-spoken, very obedient. And that causes someone to walk into the world as an adult as insecure AF, to say the least. So I was looking for attention. I was looking for love, to feel valued and accepted, to feel heard, to feel seen. And I did find that in performance, in the arts, in singing, in dancing, in acting. Because I felt like I finally had a stage where my voice could be heard, where I could be seen as someone who brings value, someone who has talent, someone who has something special that you want to pause and watch me. Is there still some of this lingering? Possibly, possibly. But I definitely feel as though I value my voice as any other voice. Any wisdom that I bring you, let's say, is just as important as the next person. Yours is equally important no matter what you grew up being told, no matter how much attention you never got, no matter how much pat on the back you never had. Your family really is your first bully. And again, it's not that they do it on purpose, they just don't know any better. Especially parents, they don't know what they're doing. Nobody taught them necessarily how to do it right. We just have examples perhaps around us and we do our best to follow. Some parents could do much better than what they consider their best. I guess the lesson in all this is to extend grace, not only to parents in general, but to yourself. I had to learn to give myself grace, because it's one thing to work on your confidence. It's one thing to try and heal and do therapy and all that. And it's another to acknowledge that the people that were supposed to be there for you and equip you for the world didn't do a great job. And it can feel like you're being a victim when you're acknowledging it. But I strongly believe that is the first step. To acknowledging that it's not all your fault, it's not all on you. That, let's say, that you've had to work so hard to even trust people, to let people in. You've had to work hard, for instance, myself, to be confident, to know, again, that I do have value, to learn to have my own opinion, to form my own opinions, to form my own perspectives. Your own family, by pointing out your own weaknesses, or even things that you may not like about your physical aspect. My own family would bully me about my weight at some point, just to give you an example. And it's one thing to be bullied on the outside. It's another when it's the closest people to you. I want to turn this again right back at you. If you grew up being picked on by your own family, if you grew up not getting the push in the back or even the pat on the back to tell you that you're doing a great job, if you've never even been approached about your opinion, your take on things, just to make you feel valued, to make you feel like what you have to say matters, if you've never even been given the right to negotiate on anything, as simple as it is, then please extend yourself some grace. Your family failed you. It's okay to admit it. It's okay to acknowledge it. And then that's when the real work begins. You acknowledge it, you release it, and then you do the work so that you can be who you dream to become. And that's the fun part. That's the fun part. Every choice in life is based on either love or fear. So grow the love within you, okay? Focus on the love for your voice, the love for your place in the world, the love for the dreams that you have, the love for how you make people feel, and the last memories that you create in their mind about you. This was a heavy one. Share your stories with me. I promise this is a safe space. Especially topics like these are very vulnerable. So I value that, and I value you for taking the time to watch this, for taking the time to be a part of my journey here on the internet, and for lending me your ear as your big sis. I'll see you in the next episode. Be strong, be healed, be loved.